this is Rebecca Bush. I know I haven't made a video in a while. I've been focusing on healing after my explant surgery, just getting things in balance once again after all of that. And I'm actually doing really well. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm glad I took that time to focus on my health. Also have a little bit of fun and party a little bit, let loose afterward. And yeah, I feel really grounded now here at our homestead. And I've been working on the virtual Intentional Community Summit. We've been inviting speakers for months, and we just started our promotion efforts like a few weeks ago. Despite the fact that this is going to be a 3-day virtual event. If you can't make it in person or in real time, let's say, that's fine. There's also an option to get the replays. But, one thing that I want to share with everyone is there's a lot of time, energy, heart, passion poured into these, whether it's online events or in-person events. And I just want to take a moment to say, the reason we're doing this, the intention of putting on the Intentional Community Summit is really to help people. I've been pursuing this lifestyle for over a decade. My husband, John Bush, and I acquired a 10-acre homestead about 3.5 years ago here in Central Texas. And I'm not going to lie, it's like a pioneering that we're doing. And there are so many other thousands of communities that exist who are also pioneering, and many of them have been for decades. And what I'm attempting to communicate and articulate here is that taking the time to learn from people who have been at it for many, many years of their life and dedicating their life force to this pays off in the long run, because you are able to learn from them and hopefully avoid some of the mistakes they made, learning best practices. And so the reason we put this Intentional Community Summit on is to aid people in building more communities like this or joining communities that already exist. And this is an opportunity to not only learn, but also to foster deep connections with other people who are doing exactly that, who are pursuing this lifestyle. We were traveling to the People's Reset in Mexico, and there was a lady, her name's Crystal, at the airport who we ran into on the same flight to the event. She said, "Hey, you guys did the Accident Build Land Summit." I met 4 of our founding members for our Homestead Intentional Community at your event. Here we are a year later, we've got the land, we're building out our PMA and all of our agreements. We're, working to steward the land. It never would have happened had I not carved out and invested in myself the time to attend, to be able to network. And hearing stories like that are literally the reason that we do this, these sort of events. So this year, we are hosting the in-person Exit and Build Land Summit at Polyface Farm. We're going to have incredible on-the-ground workshops, hands-on demonstrations with Joel Salatin, Daniel Salatin, their team. They are just experts in this space. And honestly, I kind of am like pinching myself. I can't even believe we're hosting the Exit and Build Land Summit at Polyface Farms in Virginia. Like, this is truly a dream come true for me. And they have a super successful operation. So you'll be able to see firsthand what it takes for, landscape design and figuring out how you want your whole farm and homestead and, the layout of everything, growing food and utilizing biodynamic farming techniques, chicken processing, building a pond. I mean, all of these things, are so helpful, and seeing it on a large scale helps to implement those strategies and save time, save money in the long run. But that's a more hands-on experience. And as many of you know, the Exit and Build Land Summit is typically streamed virtually, and we give out the talks for free for 2 days. So because the Exit and Build Land Summit in person this year in May 23rd, May 24th, will be in person at Polyface and not streamed, we took it upon ourselves to have a whole new event, the virtual Intentional Community Summit. So this is, not so much of the homesteading skills that you would be learning firsthand and getting your hands dirty, like on the farm and seeing things in real life. for the X and Build Land Summit in May. This is on your computer. Join us. We're going to do 2 days of free talks, guys. There's literally no reason to not register. Even if you can only make it for a few talks, we're going from 12 to 5. Let me show you the schedule for Friday and Saturday. If you cannot make it on Friday, February 21st or Saturday, February 22nd, never fear. You can always buy the replays to all the talks. And we have Paul Wheaton, the Duke of Permaculture, speaking Friday night, keynoting. We have Diana Leaf Christian, who did a pre-record talk to kick everything off on Friday. She is the author of Creating a Life Together. Like literally the first eco-village I ever visited in person is Earth Haven in Asheville. And I read her book, and it was like, honestly, what set me upon this path and was like a huge catalyst for me. And then, hearing from these speakers who have so much wisdom, so much knowledge, who's been at it for decades. Let me show you the schedule, guys. So this is the free portion. And then I'll get into on Sunday, we're doing a community matchmaking with Cynthia Tina, and she'll be, hosting breakout sessions, helping people connect and, build out those networks so that we can work together. There's strength in numbers. Finding other people to pursue this lifestyle with definitely helps. Even here at our homestead, oh my gosh, we have close to 10 community members, and it's hard to feed the chickens every day and take care of the barn cats and get the wicking beds and grow beds and row crops and drip irrigation and the food forest install and lining the pond and getting the bees and making sure that we can even harvest the honey. And it's like a lot of responsibility. So doing these projects with other people makes a lot of sense, and learning how to do that in a way that there's harmony within the community and shared values, and just, having that cohesion really is magical. So here we go, guys. Here's what you're going to get for free. So here is the schedule. Okay, I'm hoping y'all are seeing this. Let's see. Your screen sharing is paused. Why? Stop share. Okay, hold on. Let me try this again. I'm going to go to this. And where are you? I don't know. Okay, we're going to try it in this browser. There we go. Okay, fabulous. All right, there we are. Yeah, I'm doing this on my laptop here in the living room, so I'm not in a professional studio, so bear with me here. Okay. Well, I don't know why, but the other one's not wanting to show up. So let's just go here. Okay, so we are hosting the Intentional Community Summit. This is going to be bringing together speakers, masters of intentional community who are sharing their secrets for joining existing communities, finding and funding homestead land, starting new, growing new communities, living self-sufficiently off the grid, and so much more. I think we all can agree there's obviously issues in today's society, and a lot of people are realizing, they want to get returning to the land, get back to those traditions of, sourdough bread making and going out to your garden and harvesting food that hasn't been sprayed with chemicals, and getting eggs from the chicken coop and not having to pay $20 a dozen for eggs, like all the craziness right now in Whole Foods and stores like that. So when you register, you're going to see you have an option for a VIP pass, which again, that's going to get you access to the day on Sunday, the community matchmaking. We're also doing a operating in the private realm roundtable discussion. So if you're interested in trusts, private membership associations, aka PMAs, which are super buzzing right now, a lot of interest there. And also the ministry route, since this is honestly super spiritual work, then that's something you might want to consider. It's $97, but let me show you what you're getting for free if you join us for Friday and Saturday. So we're going to kick things off at noon. John, my husband, and I will be just welcoming everyone, and really our mission in crafting this intentional community summit, eco villages, homesteading, just helping people get off the grid, returning to the land. We have Diana Leaf Christian speaking for 45 minutes, and she is going to be sharing the ups and downs of community living and everything she's learned in between in her process of not only living in an eco village, but also creating really the Bible of intentional community living, which is creating a life together. She also has her Finding Communities book, and she's an expert as well in sociocracy. And she has, ongoing resources. She does online courses in sociocracy through the School of Integrated Living. So we'll get into that. From a design perspective, site plan design, understanding bioarchitecture and sacred geometry. We have Lydia and Arturo from Geophilia, who will be presenting on the 5 levels of conscious community design. So they explain it as like, you don't want to have a Frankenstein community where you like put something here and then there's something else over there, and then you're kind of putting the rest together in the middle, but you would have like maybe had a bigger picture on paper that saves you in the long run. If you think about the design of the community ahead of time, it prevents that like botched, oops, that should have been actually built over here, and things don't flow with the topography of the land and the way the water comes in, and just making sure all the structures built and eradicated make sense with the bigger picture and mission of the property goals and the community goals. Derek Bros will be presenting on his incredible community in Mexico. They're building out the Conscious Agora and how they put that together. And just as the founder of the exit and build philosophy, really seeing not just it philosophically, but in action, what does that look like? Having a food forest and having acreage and finding the right community members, and how they've successfully accomplished that in Mexico. My husband John will be presenting and just keeping everyone kind of hyped up, because it can feel overwhelming when you're pursuing this lifestyle. And so something important is like mindset and just like really pushing through resistance and becoming the best version of yourself, which like I've even had setbacks where I'm like struggling and having a hard time. And when you have people there as a support base and a support network, it really makes a big difference. So Nicole Reese from the Global Eco Village Network will be presenting on societal redesign with eco villages. We have Kelly Kresick from New Earth Development presenting on finding and funding your intentional community project. Honestly, like if you don't have the financial resources, it can really throw a wrench in like how quickly things get done. Like even around here at Radical Roots Ranch, John and I have primarily been funding the majority of these projects, and it's like we don't have thousands of dollars laying around for rainwater catchment to be added. Like we don't have thousands of dollars laying around for a gigantic food forest install. So really figuring out like how are you going to pay for all of these amazing things you want to build. And so she'll be kind of presenting on that, and it's definitely a really important piece to the puzzle. So for instance, like a solution for us, we actually started a ministry of nature, which, we're having on our website, donate a fruit tree. And when you are able to promote and share and people come out and they learn how to plant a fruit tree, they donate their funds to help plant that fruit tree. Like this is what community is all about in strength in numbers. And also, obviously, the first partner is the land. So really just having that connection with the land and how you want to steward the land. And we feel the best way to do that is through, setting up either a foundation or a ministry of nature. But obviously, there's tons of different options and how you could set your community up. And that will be a topic for the roundtable discussion, which I'll get into. And then to end day one, we have Paul Wheaton from Permies. He is the Duke of Permaculture. But he also, though, has an intentional community called Wheaton Labs. So he'll be presenting. He wrote a book, Permaculture Thorns, like community challenges and overcoming a lot of the things that set people apart in their success of pursuing this lifestyle versus many communities fail, not necessarily because of the land or the vision, but actually because of the people who are trying to work together, not being able to find that cohesion and commonality and power dynamic and decision making and all of this. So That being said, day one will be finished. Again, if you can't come Friday for the full sessions that these are happening in real time live, that's okay. You can pay $97 and you get access to all this information for life. So just keep that in mind. Then over the weekend on Saturday, February 22nd, my husband John will be kicking things off discussing the Freedom Cell Confederation of Freedom Cell Communities vision he has, and just like a roadmap of how to get there. Like if you have the end goal in mind, begin with the end in mind, and then work backwards for how to get there. So that's a larger scale thing, but can be implemented even, for anyone's goals when it comes to, building out a community and then being connected to other communities and having a large network and a support base for these parallel systems that we're building and counter economies. Jonathan England from Earthwaking Village will be presenting for about 30 minutes on Earthwaking Village as a model for the future. I myself visited Earthwaking, and it was really cool to see in like less than 3 years' time how they built out their property there. They had like 25 community members when I visited. I know they're even expanding. They just got more acreage for Grace 2 future development project. But on that property that I visited, it had the pool, the food forest, the, housing solutions, the community center, which used to be a restaurant, but they turned it into, and they have the chicken coop and the laundry room and the community kitchen and a huge circle table where they have community meals and events and stuff. So really cool what they've built out there in Costa Rica. Jamie Friesen will be joining us, the Living the Off-Grid Dream. I know a lot of people are actually familiar with his work, but if you aren't, you're definitely going to want to catch his talk. And that is something too to consider, is like, how do you make this lucrative? Like, how do you have property and actually have income and not having it suck all the resources? Like, how do you make this, how do you math the math, make the math math? The math needs to math. But also, so he'll be just discussing that project and what they, offer with their resources. Melanie Rubin, I actually took the gardening course she has, for Parallel Times, and that was really cool, very informative. She partnered with Brianne from Plum Fabulous Farm, so that was really cool. But anyway, she's going to be presenting on building a parallel society. We have Mike Cobb. He has a variety of different communities in Central America with ECI development. So he titled his talk, Intentionally Awesome Global Community by Design. So if you aren't familiar with ECI development, you should definitely check out, because they already have these communities. Like, you can literally get a lot. You can get a tiny home. You can get your off-grid house today, like literally right now, if you want to go down to Central America, or if you want second citizenship. And they have options to purchase teak parcels, which John and I invested in, which is a really cool model and way to make your money multiply. And then Yoshi and Paula will be discussing Seeds Transcendence. Their regenerative culture talk is always super awesome. Just how do we, bring the bigger picture vision together and, stewarding the land, honoring the land. Bradley Logan, who many of you are familiar with, I'm sure, if you follow our work with Live Free Academy. He has a presentation scheduled on divine law and the Trinity model, which, I alluded to earlier with the PMA, trust and ministry, and how do you get that set up, which we had been working on all of 2024 and got that set up for us. So we're super excited. Now we're moving forward in haste with this model. And actually, River and Amani, who will be closing the day down for day 2, they are doing that as well in Tennessee for their property in Tennessee. So they'll be discussing action steps for designing a private residential village and how they've set it up through the PMA trust and ministry route. So really cool lineup of speakers, and all of those are free. You might as well sign up, even if you can only catch a few. We're going to be, if you just put your email list in, we're going to be emailing you the link to join the live stream. Last but not least, on Sunday, February 23rd, if you pay that $97, not only do you get access to all the replays for talks, but you're also going to get a Zoom link to join Cynthia Tina, the expert community matchmaking consultant, will be hosting a community matchmaking session with John and I, different breakout groups. We're going to be discussing interest-based groups, connecting with people who are wanting to pursue this lifestyle right now. Because if you can go in on this, land project with multiple people and get the land, is a lot less barrier to entry. Or there's going to be people who already have projects who are looking for people to join. So if you're a person looking to join a community, you're going to see many communities that exist literally today. They're already there. They're spoon-fed. Hey, come move here. Here's what, their vetting process looks like, et cetera. So a few communities will actually be presenting about their opportunities to move in right now, or in the future. So that's going to be really awesome and totally worth the investment. If you want to move on to a homestead, move on to an intentional community or an eco village, we're bringing everyone together for that matchmaking session so that you can have this be a catalyst for your goals to not just be in your mind and in your vision, but actually grounded in reality. And then we're going to have River and Amani, a meeting of the mind, Bradley Logan, Jonathan England, of course, John Bush, my husband, for a premium roundtable on building your community in the private realm. We have never had more interest in a topic than this Trinity model. I mean, it was explosive last year when we had the master class and the webinar with Bradley Logan to discuss how we can get out of these matrix systems and really build the new earth that we all know is possible. And he has so much information in this space. Jonathan England, they're utilizing this at Earthwaking in Costa Rica, as well as River and Amani at Haven Village in East Tennessee. So we are going to learn their best practices. And of course, we're going to have an open audience Q&A for folks. So I hope that you are all able to join us. This is available to sign up at livefree.academy/community. Thank you so much for listening. I know I kind of rambled on here, but I definitely wanted to, provide you with this information because we've worked so hard to bring all of this together, and it's going to be a truly magical event. And so if you have a laptop, if you have a smartphone, if you have access to Wi-Fi, you are in the perfect position to join, that you will not regret this decision. And really, the be-all end-all goal is for more people to come together, to connect, to have access to land so that they can pursue their permaculture goals, their regenerative agriculture goals, their homesteading goals, their off-grid goals, their intentional community goals. I can say firsthand, it's been a very rewarding last decade pursuing this lifestyle. It's not always been easy, and I want to help lighten the load of this responsibility a lot of us are feeling by bringing people together who have already done it successfully, and we can learn from them, we can connect, we can form those deep relationships with one another and return to the land and make the impact on this planet and really, breathe deep, not feel like the weight of the world's on our shoulders, but rather carry that, collectively and do so with grace and voluntarily and just in a very spontaneous and pleasant way. And it's through these sort of online events and even in-person events that we're able to set aside some time to focus on these bigger dreams and goals and make them happen in our own lives. So thank you all for listening. Please register livefree.academy/community. I hope to see you there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And you can check out the full speaker lineup, get more information about the event at livefree.academy/community. Thanks, y'all. All right, signing off now. Bye.